Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. In this video we're going to be looking at the Green Flame Blade. It's a cantrip for sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards, and it comes from the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. It says you brandish the weapon used in the spell casting and make a melee attack with it against one creature within 5 feet of you. On a hit, the target suffers the weapon attack's normal effects, and you can cause green fire to leap from the target to a different creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of it. The second creature takes fire damage equal to your spellcasting ability modifier. This spell's damage increases when you reach certain levels. At 5th level, the melee attack deals an extra 1d8 fire damage to the target on a hit, and the fire damage to the second creature increases to 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. Both damage rolls increase by 1d8 at 11th and at 17th. This is going to be kind of similar a little bit to the Booming Blade macro, but let's go ahead and build it. Default template, Green Flame Blade is the name. That's going to be at the title on the top. And the first thing we're going to do is an attack. And this is a normal melee attack. See, make a melee attack, not a spell melee attack. It's a melee attack. So they're going to have to use a normal weapon, whether it's a sword or a warhammer or whatever they're using. That's what they're going to use. And they're going to have to use their strength modifier for a melee attack as anybody else would, unless you have either a finesse weapon, which allows you to use your dexterity modifier or your strength modifier, or if you have some ability that you can use, a different modifier, it's either going to be strength or dex. So in this case, we're going to do a roll, 1d20 plus, and we're going to go get aeru as our warlock. So we're going to go get his strength mod. And in this case, we're going to be using a long sword plus. He gets to add his proficiency bonus, and that is the roll. We always roll twice. So that's the second roll, and then we're going to end that row. Let's run this and see what happens. Okay, so let's look at real fast. aeru. His strength mod is 1, and his proficiency bonus is 4. So this roll should be a 1d20 plus 1 plus 4. And it is a 1d20 plus 1 plus 4, so that is correct. I have an extra brace in there somewhere too, right here. Okay, so that roll is correct. And then we always take the first roll, unless they're rolling, in this case, the first roll or advantage would be a 19. If they were rolling disadvantage, they get 17. So now we're going to do the slashing damage for the weapon they're using. This is where you would change the damage. So if they were using a short sword, it'd be 1d6. We're going to say he's using a long sword, which is 1d8, or whatever, and you would change it to the appropriate type of damage as well. If it was a hammer, you would be using a bludgeoning damage, but in this case it's slashing damage, and it's going to be a roll of 1d8, which is a long sword, plus we get to add a aeru strength modifier to that, and that's going to end that roll and end that row. Now we're going to do another row for the additional fire damage. Because if you look at this, 5th level, the melee attack deals an extra 1d8 fire damage. So for levels 1 through 4, this fire damage is going to say 0. But from level 5 on, it will be rolling either a 1d8, a 2d8, or a 3d8. We're going to say fire damage, and then we're going to use our scaling. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're not going to do 1 plus because we don't start with 1d8. Until we're level 5, so we're just going to start with 5, 11, 17, less than, we're going to go get aeru's level, double brackets, D8, double bracket, end the row. So now let's run this. So we should be getting, in the slashing damage row, we should get 1d8 plus his strength mod, which is 1. So it should be 1d8 plus 1. And then in the fire damage row, we should be getting a 1d8 roll because this calculation is asking how many of these 3 numbers are less than aeru's current level. And in this case, he's level 9, so only one number is less, so it's a 1d8. When he hits level 11, it'll be 2d8, and level 17 will be 3d8. So let's run this and see if it's calculated correctly. So slashing damage, this is to the target, is 1d8 plus 1. That is correct. That's for our weapon right here, plus the 1 for his strength mod. And then the fire damage is a 1d8. And that's this scaling, which is scaled correctly because at level 9 he should get 1d8. Again, if they're level 1 through 4, this will say 0. It's just there so that they never, when you create this macro, they never have to touch it again. They don't have to modify it when they're level 5. They'll automatically just, so you just have to put up a 0 there for first 4 levels, not the end of the world. And then we're going to do on a hit, comma green, fire leaps to an adjacent target for, and we're going to do a roll at aeru. In this case, it says charisma modifier, because in here it says the second creature takes fire damage equal to your spellcasting ability modifier. Aeru's is charisma. Okay, and then at level 5, you get to add 1d8 fire damage to his charisma modifier. So now we're going to scale. We're going to use the same scaling, because we're going to say plus, and then we're going to take the same calculation, and we're going to say fire damage, and we're going to end the row. All right, so let's test it and see what happens. Okay, so it says on a hit, green fire leaps to an adjacent target for rolling 5 plus 6. And so what that is it's the 5 for his charisma modifier, because Aeru's charisma modifier is 5, plus it rolled a 6 on this 1d8 that it returned right here, because he gets 1d8 based on the scaling. He's over level 5, so he gets 1d8. At 11, he gets 2d8. At 17, he gets 3d8. So it's rolling. So levels 1 through 4, this would be 5 plus 0. So it's going to be 5 constant from level 1 to 4. And then after 5, you're going to get 1d8. At 11, you get 2d8. 17, you get 3d8. So hopefully that doesn't make your head spin too much. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you have any macros you'd like to see, put them in the comments. I appreciate you watching. I'd really appreciate if you like and subscribe. That'd be great. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next one.